Good evening, and welcome to the Society, our weekly Vaesen RPG campaign. My name is Loki, and I will be your game master for these dark and thrilling tales. It is with the greatest pleasure that I welcome you to this, our premiere episode of Chapter 6, and I hope that we delight, fright, and intrigue you with mystery and adventure. We've got some new and exciting things coming up in this chapter, so without further ado, let's meet our cast. Take it away!
Oh, hold on. Yeah, now we can't hear you, Luke.
Hold on, we're having technical issues with OBS and it changing all my default sounds. Let's do that again. Take it away!
Hi, I'm Amy, Insigne Velbrock, the sorceress.
Hi, I'm Maximilian. I'm Mike, playing Maximilian Fierbark, the paranormal investigator.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm playing Bartholomew Seaton, the officer.
We have a number of people we would like to thank for all the resources and contributions they have provided to tonight's episode. The link should appear in the Twitch chat or in the details below if you are catching up on our YouTube.
Our virtual tabletop tonight is the incredible Roll20, featuring their dynamic lighting feature, inbuilt character sheets, and virtual dice roller. Go check them out at roll20.net. In addition, our battle mats were created using Dungeon Fog and the amazing assets there.
Our character art was created by the extremely talented Shusha, who you should go and check out on Instagram at ShushaUK. That's ZSU-ZSAUK. Our game tokens and dice roller tokens come from the Vaesen RPG rulebook by Free League and from the amazing artist Johan Egerkrans.
Music and ambient sound throughout the stream come from Tabletop Audio and Kevin McLeod and Incomptech, all provided via the Roll20 Jukebox. You can check both these amazing artists out via their website at tabletopaudio.com and incomptech.com.
Yay! We got through it eventually. Let's hit the intro video. And we're back from the intro. Okie dokie. Let's get let's get this show under the road. Under the road! Oh my god. And that was the society for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Like, yeah!
Guys,
Oh, let's get this show on the road.
I have a
hey?
feeling that was a Freudian slip because he actually wants to TPK us all in the first episode.
Yes, it is. It's honestly, it's true. Let's get this show on the road. Okay, so we join our brave souls. The music's very loud, I've realised. That's better. We join our brave souls as they rest up in the hall under the mountain. Max and the Colonel, deep in sleep, rest. It is silent, but it is not an oppressive silence, but a gentle, comforting one that surrounds them and makes them feel safe. It is peaceful in the hall under the mountain, peaceful and calm. As the two rest, still awaiting the return of the rest of the society who have gone off on an investigation, we turn to Max. Beneath gentle eyelids, Max's eyes begin to move rapidly. It is the rapid movement of dreaming. And Max is clearly deep in some strange dream. Beads of sweat begin to appear on Max's forehead. And a slight grimace comes across his face. We realise it is not a dream at all, but it is a nightmare, and through mumbled words that make no sense, the silence, that calming silence of the hall, is broken. As a string of fearful utterances echo through Max's room. Suddenly, and with a start, Max, you awaken from your sleep. As somewhere else in the world, a young and fair woman is also having a nightmare. She thrashes in her sleep as the fear presses in like the darkness of the night. She too suddenly awakens with a start. The pair of you breathing heavy as you try to untangle your minds from the nightmare that just held you captive. The scene around you is blurry and unfocused, but it is not a scene that you recognize, and it is not a place that you have ever seen before. As it drifts into focus, you are surrounded by a strange and bizarre landscape. flick over to here. Max, you find yourself laying gently reclined on a soft, comfortable surface. There is a warm, sweet, heady smell of perfume in the air, and it presses in heavily against you. As you look around, your eyes are filled with the strangest vision. You are surrounded by wildlife, by nature. Rose bushes tangle wildly around you and reach up to a canopy of thick and luscious trees. Strange twisting vines reach out, finger-like, dancing into the strangeness that you see around you. You hear an unearthly giggling sound and a strange twinkling like chirping birds or breaking glass. What will you do?
First of all, I can imagine, like, looking at it, I can imagine almost feeling like Bottom from Midsummer Night's Dream when he wakes up in Titania's palace.
Yes! Except less donkey shape.
Yeah. Less donkey ears as well. Max is going to try and take in his surroundings, looking at everything. I'm guessing he can see this person just here.
Yes, if you sit up and start looking around, you would indeed see. It is a beautiful woman sitting on a cushioned stool that seems to be carved out of glass or crystal, you're not sure. She is completely naked, with pale skin the colour of natural pearls, that in the light seems to hold every colour and yet none at all, sparkling and iridescent. And she sits on this stool combing her jet black hair that cascades down to the floor. And from her back sprout beautiful and delicate looking wings. They're like lacewing fly wings. Those completely translucent, barring the structure that supports them, and they very gently twitch and flutter as she brushes her hair. Her long, pointed ears also twitch gently as she listens to the sounds of this mystical place. And as you move, she looks towards you, and you are reminded very gently of Gætir. That completely unnatural and somewhat dangerous looking eyes.
So as Max gets the attention of her eyes, he will kind of like, kind of do that kind of like puppy twist of the head.
And she mimics you perfectly, almost as if she can see into the future and knows what you're going to do. She moves at exactly the same time as you.
Mm-hmm. I don't appear to be where I went to sleep. Where am I?
She, what you assume is giggling. It sounds like several birds tweeting and twittering all at the same time. It is a beautiful, mellifluous tinkling sound. And as she does that, her wings flutter and almost become completely invisible as they move so quickly. And it lifts her up into the air and then gently onto her feet. And she walks with the grace of not only a predator, but something serene but completely unnatural. And she walks towards you and extends out her hand, a hand of long, elegant, shimmering fingers.
My mother always told me not to go with strange women, but okay.
These incredibly long and delicate-looking fingers turn out to be significantly stronger than you were expecting, as she almost pulls you up out of the bed and onto your feet. As you come up onto your feet, we are going to maneuver ourselves to another part of this strange and unusual place, as this young, fair-looking woman also opens her eyes to see this strange, fey realm around her. What will you do, Signy?
She's gonna... I'll sit straight up in bed and very sort of childishly hug my knees. She grabs the crystals around her neck and looks around to see what's around her. Can she see this bed?
Yes, so you can... I hope you can see in Roll20. I actually don't know if your vision is there. Can you see the...
I can see the entire map.
Perfect, that's what we needed. Okay, so you are also resting, like, comfortably on this beautiful bed. And as you kind of look over, there is, laying on her front with her chin in her fists, she is watching you intently, like just gently kicking her feet behind her. And she too has these beautiful wings that sprout from her back. These ones are like dragonfly wings, so she has 4 of them, and they are shimmering as they move, and she's just staring at you as she just sort of kicks her feet.
Okay. So I've kind of got the covers up here, and when I notice her, and I'm gonna slip off the side of the bed to almost kneel on the floor, so I'm only looking at her over the bed. And I'm used to my sister being in a room with me, so I double take, and then I'm just gonna go psst, psst, to see if she says anything. To kind of grab her attention. And I'll give a little wave. Oh, I can't hear Luke.
She.
Oh.
I'm in and out. In and out.
I've got you again. I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. She just stares at you with these dark, glistening eyes that are almost like the night sky, completely black, but with almost like twinkling stars within them. And as you go to wave, she moves as if she were your mirror image and waves at you. And as she does so, her dragonfly wings flutter and it lifts her off the bed and onto her feet. And she takes a couple of steps away from the bed and then kind of motions you to follow her.
Do I feel safe?
That is a good question. It is very difficult to tell if this is a dream or not. It's got to be a dream, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a dream.
I'll stand up. Take a look. I'll take a step closer, and then, but not too close. So I will come to here, and quite quietly I'll just say, "What do you want with me?"
As you take a step closer, she takes a step back, but she continues this follow me action with her hands.
Okay. I'm going to move. I'll always stay quite a distance, but following. And I'll keep questioning. I'll say, "Can you speak?"
She answers you. You see her mouth move as she responds to your question, but it isn't a human voice that comes out. It is the chirping and the singing of insects at night, like all the crickets and the cicada. It trills out of her mouth towards you in a rhythm and a pattern that suggests that it is words, but not words that you would understand. Movement catches your eyes, Signy, as you see another one of these creatures leading by the hand a human, another human. It is a somewhat dishevelled looking man who is, for all intents and purposes, wearing a suit. He looks very much like he has just had a very hard day from work, has got home, undone his tie, undone his top button, trusled his hair, and is just sat on the sofa, recovering from a very busy day. But he is being led by another one of these creatures who is holding his hand. And as you see him, he sees you. Signy, please describe yourself to us all. Everybody knows Max, but we're all desperate to know what you look like, Signy.
Okay. I'm very young, early 20s. I have red long hair with a purple bandana. I'm extremely pale skinned. Wearing an off the shoulder top, floaty skirt, and kind of like a corset holding the top together, and lots of crystals everywhere. Lots of necklaces, lots of bracelets, lots of rings. And quite a cheeky, naive smile to me.
I fully imagine that every time you move, you make the ringing sound that belly dancers make when they have that
my
really
skirt
beautiful...
has the little coins hanging off it.
All those little coins.
There is no quiet movement.
Kissed Chaos in chat. It's like a young Stevie Nicks, and I think several people are going, yes, that is that's the visual.
Esmeralda crossed with Stevie Nicks.
There you go, everyone. Like, really, we just needed that small sentence, and that would have done it. Everyone would have been like, yes, we have the visual. All right, what are you two going to do as you catch each other's eye?
Oh, the minute I see him, I'm going to be like, hey, you. Trying to get his attention.
Max is going to be like, me? Me?
I'm going to look around as though there's someone else.
I don't know you.
What's going on? Who are you?
Why are you in my dream?
This is my dream.
My dream. I was here first.
As you reach this edge, the edge of this platform that you were on, Max, you feel the strangest sensation. It's like butterflies in your tummy. And this fey creature leads you to the end of the platform, and you just drift into the air and float down to the same level as the young woman. The fey creature lets go of your hand, and the two of them come to stand on either side of this platform. You see stairs leading to another platform that is entirely surrounded by the thickest entwined briar you've ever seen. It is almost as if thousands of tiny hands have woven these rose bushes into this thicket, and it is laden with roses. Every time a breeze blows, rose petals break away and scatter across this terrace that you find yourself on. The smell of rose perfume is heavy in the air, and both of them stand here like trying to motion you to come over.
Okay, so Max is going to actually first of all walk over to Signy. Without saying anything, he's going to poke her hard in the shoulder.
Ow.
Okay, just checking that you're real.
I'm pinching.
Ow! Don't pull your hair.
All right, stop. It's obviously real.
Okay.
Did my mum send you?
Who's your mum?
Oh, don't worry.
Okay. I think there's somebody. I think they're wanting us to go this way.
Well, clearly, but this is a nightmare.
So far, it's quite pleasant for a nightmare. I
I
don't
agree.
usually meet so many strange women in my nightmares. Well, actually, I do, but that's why they're nightmares. Anyway, shall we have a look at the top?
I guess I will
Keep
follow.
composure, will you,
I will be
please?
led by my elder.
By your elder, you cheeky cow.
We'll start using that.
Yeah, so looking up the platform.
They do that kind of, the welcoming arm. They draw it across their body with grace and like this real grace and beautiful movement, and then they both point up the stairs behind them.
Okie dokie. So kind of like that there is no Dana, only Zool kind of.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
That's the one.
That. No, not that at all. We're talking, like Lord of the Rings, elves, that kind of like real slow grace, like, they've had thousands of years to practice moving.
Yeah, okie dokie. So Max will gesture ladies first.
And Signe, not wanting to appear scared, will strut past. Clutching her crystals, but she will strut.
Think it, don't say it, Michael. Okay.
Okay.
Don't start making my way up the stairs.
As you ascend the stairs, you arrive in a chamber, is really the way to describe it. With each step you take, you realise that you've been stood on like a platform of woven branches and roots, but as you climb the stairs, it becomes lush grass, filled with flowers, and every step you take, like little fireflies seem to, leap and dance around you. As you enter this chamber, you see a huge throne made out of a material you don't recognize, but it is blood red like the rose. And sitting upon it, there is a giant of a woman. Her skin is like the colour of pearls, like the other fey creatures, but unlike them, she is wearing a crown of rose thorns and brambles that reaches up in a display of pure power. And unlike the others with their delicate little insect wings, the creature that sits upon the throne has a giant pair of leathery bat wings. A stark contrast to the beautiful roses and delicate flowers that surround her, and her beautiful, elegant form. It gives her the feeling of something of great age, terrible power, and something that is pure nature. This is not a benevolent creature. It is not malevolent either. It is just as nature intended. And she sits upon this throne and looks down at you as you arrive in this chamber of rose thorns and blooms.
Max will give a sweeping bow.
And following suit, I'll give a little curtsy.
She
Better than that.
I'll do a bigger one.
You like do a
Lift my
little one,
skirts up.
and then it's like a really big one.
Yeah.
She reaches out an elegant and delicate hand and motions for you to come closer.
Max will move 2 spaces closer.
I will move. Stay slightly behind Max. Feeling less secure.
Okay. She begins to speak, and at first, it is like the sounds of gentle rain, of flowing water, a gentle breeze through a thick canopy of leaves, the sounds of birds singing, the sound of bees bumbling through flowers, and as the sound of her voice falls on each of you, well, on the pair of you, you feel that there is a sense of ageless power in this creature. And the voice twists and shifts like a playful wind. And suddenly, instead of the sounds of nature, it is the sounds of several people speaking at once. Each of the voices that comes out of this creature is speaking a different language, and so it creates a cacophonous chorus of words and sounds, until eventually she seems to settle on a single voice and a single language that both of you understand. And she says, "I am so glad that you have come.
Where is it that we have come to?
You have come to my domain, my kingdom, my realm.
And why are we here?
Because we have need of you."
Both of us. Whoever this is.
We called out into the night, and you have answered.
The Colonel's gonna love this.
Who's the Colonel?
Oh. Whereabouts at... Sorry, excuse us. Whereabouts are you at the moment? In the real world?
In the real world? I'm in my bedroom.
But I know that. Norway,
home?
Sweden, Finland. Finlandia.
Where was I?
You're in Norway.
I'm in Norway. I forgot.
If I remember correctly, I think you're in Bergan.
I am. Now you've
Yeah.
said it. Yeah.
And we're in Usterdal.
Espedalen.
Espedal.
Ust-
Usterdal, that's the Eurovision guy. Martin Usterdal.
You've got Eurovision on the brain, I see. You're in Espedalen.
Espedalen.
Yeah.
So when you awaken, make your way to Espedalen, and we'll meet you there.
No. You
Okay.
cannot make your way. You must come here. with all haste.
Okay. There is a third person I would like to bring, if that's okay.
We have dealt with the Order many times in the past. Just come to our aid, as you have in times long forgotten. Do not tarry and do not wait. With all speed, you must come here, for we are in terrible danger.
Where is here? How do we come back to it?
She looks at you with an intensity that she hasn't before, and there is suddenly a pressure and a presence in your mind. At first, it is a little frightening to feel like another entity appearing in your head, but it is very gentle, and suddenly you get a quick flurry of images into your mind as they are added to your memories. There is a town by the sea.
Oh, not another one.
There are docks and ships. There is a great mountain that looks down upon this town, and from it flows a powerful and ancient river. It carves through the land, drawing the stories of eternity upon it, and it runs turquoise with the feed of the melting glacier. And around this mountain, there is an ancient and powerful forest. But there is something dark and something evil strangling at the river, trying to throttle it, to ensnare and enslave and enchain it. A great wall of dark and terrible stone that presses heavy on the heartbeat of the river. And on this wall, this terrible thing of stone and concrete, you see the words, Hammerfest Dam. It's clearly... Yes, both of you get this image. These images flood into your mind. The dam is incomplete. It hasn't yet made its way into the center of the river. And so far, there's two halves of it that are reaching in towards the center. The way that you perceive this, the way that you are given this memory, is of like dark stone hands trying to wrap their fingers around the throat of the river and to strangle and throttle it. But it isn't yet complete, so it hasn't yet closed. The next image that you see is of the strange place that you find yourself now. And there are these fey creatures dancing around, singing and playing strange instruments. And suddenly, several of them just fade out of existence and vanish. And those that are left behind look around wildly, and there is a sense of great loss and sorrow that brings tears to your eyes. And then there is the image of this great darkness crushing down on the river. The river's flow, the river's heartbeat is throttled, strangled, ensnared, and entwined. And the river swells as it cannot flow. And this place that you see now, this mystical land, this realm, you see a dark and terrible tidal wave pour in and erase it from memory forever. And then that presence in your mind fades and leaves. And you look now on this otherworldly being, and tears well up in her inhuman eyes, and blood red, they run down her face, and as they gather on her jawline and gather on her chin, they drop like little droplets of blood, transforming themselves into rose petals that get caught on this gentle breeze and drift lazily around the throne room. You must help us. Our doom is at hand.
I understand. I will bring my friend. And if you can meet us here too, that would be great.
Of course, I really want... this order of yours has money, right?
Yes.
I will need you to pay my fare.
Did I hear you correct? You're in Bergan, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. We'll pick you up on the way. It's not a problem. Meet us at the station in about 3 days.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Signy's going to try and brush her hands through the bits around her and pick up a couple of these flowers. She's intrigued to see if she can take them back with her.
These rose petals are like damask rose. They are thick and velvety, and they have weight to them. And as you gather a few of them up, they almost seem to sigh in your hands, and the perfume of rose grows even headier.
I will put them in a little jar that I have on one of my necklaces to keep the smell, if I can.
Do not delay. There isn't much time.
I'll give another curtsy.
And a
as I
sweeping
go
bow.
to step back once. And then I will pinch Max and say, "Wake up."
As you take a little step backwards, you feel like there's something right behind you, and as you turn, you find two of these creatures almost nose to nose with you. They are so close. And as you turn, you make eye contact, and there is nothing you can do. You just stare into the twilight sky that is their eyes, and you don't even resist. You just relinquish completely and fall entirely under their enthralldom. The world around you just fades into night, and all you see above you is the stars wheeling overhead. Max, you awaken in your room in the hall under the mountain.
Percy, I'm loving the furs that you've added to my room.
What could I say? You have taste.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get up, check that I'm here, like tap things, listen intently for the twinkling of twinkle twinkles. Then
There is. It is your room, exactly the room that you left it, as it was when you left. Well, when you fell asleep.
Yeah. I'm then going to. Oh, sorry. Stick on some clothes because I can imagine that I would probably be in my bed attire. And then once I'm dressed, I'm going to come out. Which room is the Colonel's?
It's actually really hard to tell, as more and more members have joined the society, it has become bizarrely clear that these rooms seem to rearrange themselves as needed. At the moment, the Colonel's room is the one sort of diagonally opposite you.
Gonna go over and open up the room. No knocking.
No knocking. Open the door. Let yourself in.
What time is it? Out of interest.
Do you know what?
Max don't care.
What sort of time does Max wake up usually?
Depends. If he's been up playing games with Gætir, probably about 9-10 o'clock in the morning. If he hasn't been up playing games with Gætir, then probably about 6-7.
So that's the time.
About 6.
Then the Colonel will definitely already be up. And probably be shaving.
Okay.
Max just walks straight through. Don't care if you're dressed. Just peers at your bathroom door. We need to leave.
So can I finish shaving first, at least?
Yes, then pack for a trip. I'll explain later. I'm just going to go and tell Sandra. And Gætir. And it just walks off and closes the door.
The Colonel will finish his grooming regime and then button his shirt up, put his jacket on, and get himself ready to find Max.
Okay. Max, where do you go?
I wander straight through. I'm like, is she going to be in the font? Is she going to be in the pool? I'll go to the pool. So I just walk straight up and out through the front door to the pool. Which I know there isn't a map for, but that's fine.
Yeah, so, well, there is, but...
somewhere hidden in the ether.
No, I've got it. You head out of the door, and you come out on the big pool, which is at the very end of Helveta. The strange, not quite cave system that leads to the hidden door behind the waterfall. There's the ribbiting of frogs and the gentle, quiet tweeting of birds reaches your ears as you step out of the door. And then the sound of the waterfall kind of drowns out the birds as the door closes behind you and the waterfall comes back.
Mm-hmm. So Max will walk up to the pool and be like, I need to talk to Gætir, please.
There's like one really bug-eyed, big frog sitting on a rock, and I half imagine you've got like down onto your hands and knees and are talking to this really bug-eyed frog that kind of just ribbits at you.
You've never looked so good.
And
Your skin is glistening.
Ribbit. And we read your as Max gets completely sidetracked talking to the frog. We join the Colonel, who is probably now used to this nonsense.
Oh yeah. Fortunately, his uniform is already well pressed. His saber and rifle already well maintained, ready to go. So it's literally just a case of grabbing everything and just going.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You will have noticed that there is some entity in the hall that likes to tidy up after you. So like when you get undressed, when you go back into the room, you will find things folded up. Your suit seems to miraculously press itself. However, I fully imagine that the Colonel presses it anyway.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Okay, just thought I would check so I know how housekeeping feel about it.
I also get the idea that he like kind of argues about the shoe shining. Like it's not military standards as opposed to the civil standards, so he keeps having to redo it. He will then make his way and try and find Max wherever he has gone.
I mean, Max really could be anywhere.
He wanted to go, so he's probably trying to find Gætir. If I start from the front and work my way back in, I might be able to find him that way. Yes, I will. Good.
Okay, you, Max, your conversation with the frog is interrupted by the sound of the waterfall stopping as the door to the hall etches and spirals its way onto the rock and then opens to reveal the Colonel.
That was quick.
I was already ready to go, so what is it that we're doing?
We're traveling. So I got transported in a dream to what would appear to be almost like a Fey realm, but not a Fey realm, but is a Fey realm, but not a Fey realm, surrounded by lots of roses. Max then goes into a long speech about exactly what he's seen, how he got there, this strange red-headed weirdo woman thing that was there as well, that seemed to be real, but I don't think, and that we'll pick her up in Bergan in 2 days' time, or 2 or 3 days' time, because she's poor, unlike us.
As you finish this story, as you finish telling this story, a voice comes up out of the lake, and you see literally sitting on the rock, seemingly have just appeared there, right next to you, is Gætir, and she says, you need to stop licking the frogs, I think.
But I only stroke them. I don't groom them with my tongue. I stroke.
I've seen you. I've seen you.
It was only once.
You need to stop licking the frogs. Then you won't have weird and wonderful dreams about fairies.
But Sandra was dry.
Honestly.
Have you ever heard of Vaesen like this, with the damselfly type wings in a rose palace near to a river flowing down from a mountain? Yes, it was them that took me and this red-headed vixen, harlot one might even call her.
No.
Okay.
Yes, of course I have. Gætir knows everything.
Well, then it's not me licking the frogs.
What do you
It
know?
still could be licking frogs. I'm not ruling it out.
Gætir, what do you know, please, on
Oh,
this
good.
subject?
The voice of reason speaks. Marvellous. What do you want?
Do you know more about what these creatures are?
Mm-hmm. Well, and as she says well, she like flicks up her hand to make a finger at you, and she comes in many forms. She clearly has been wallowing around in the pond, so she's got that beautiful, luscious, like pondweed hair, and she's glistening where she's like moist from the pond. And as she flicks this finger up to point it at you, you get this little spray of pond water flicks up your shoes, up your nicely pressed uniform. But she doesn't even... She knows what she's doing, and she doesn't even care. And,
Eyes just twitching.
you can see she's delighted, but she's not even... She's going to pretend that nothing's happened, but she's delighted. And she's going to be like, now, sounds to me like a fairy problem. Although don't call them that. They don't like it.
But their home's going to be destroyed by the dam project.
The what?
There's a dam being built across the giant river coming down from the mountain.
Well, who would be stupid enough to build a dam across the river?
Humans. Normies.
Typical.
So I'm thinking, Colonel, with your history in explosives, you may come in handy.
This is true, though I must admit I think my experience of dealing with businessmen and construction workers might be more beneficial in this scenario.
Now I know you're lying.
That
Don't lie to Gætir. It's rude. It's rude.
Which one of us is lying?
Him! And she points at the Colonel. He's making out he's useful.
Now, Gætir, we've had this conversation. The Colonel has many uses.
Yes, and we've had this conversation too. Gætir doesn't care. Fine, all right. Gætir will use her manners like you told her. And then she turns to you, Colonel, and she takes this. You are now deeply concerned about what on earth Max is teaching Gætir. She takes this sultry and somewhat provocative pose on the rock that she's sat on. Like, she flicks her feet up and she flicks her hair a little bit. And she takes this, like, almost like, it's like one of those quite modern adverts that's starting to appear. Where, like, women are appearing in adverts as a way of, like, enticing gentlemen to read and look at the adverts. It's hideous, totally inappropriate and ghastly, but it is becoming.
Here they're showing their ankles as well.
Honestly, some of them don't even have aprons. No, it's it's with the advert, like with printing becoming a lot more accessible. There is now a lot more of this. It's not just letter facing anymore. We're now getting into the realm of being able to do actual pictures. And artists are really pushing the boat. We're now starting to get those sort of family images. So it's like, you know, if the advert is for some, you know, we're now getting these like tasteful advertisements appearing in the world. But God knows what Max is teaching Gætir, because she takes this very sultry, provocative stance, and she says, "Oh, Colonel, please do go on." And then she rolls her eyes.
What exactly are fairies, and what do they prefer to be called?
Well, they don't like being called fairies, as I already said. You clearly weren't listening.
I asked what they prefer to be called, please.
They prefer to be known as the Elver.
And what do you mean by an elver problem?
They've always got problems. Drama queens, all of them. Honestly, the wind blows too hard. It's the end of the world. It doesn't rain. End of world. It does rain. End of world. Field mice. End of world. The list goes on and on. But it's always drama with them. And if it's not drama, then it is falling in love with mortals and either kidnapping them or impregnating them, and or kidnapping children. That's also high on the agenda.
When Gætir actually says impregnating them, Max does hold his tummy. Like, what?
In summary, gardening, singing, dancing, debauchery, and kidnapping. Elver.
I don't think that's just the Elver.
Right.
I've heard about the Dutch.
Don't be starting a diplomatic incident.
Thank you, Gætir. Now,
You're very welcome. It was my absolute pleasure and delight. And she rolls her eyes again.
And Max is like, yeah.
now, Max, did you recognize this place that we're going to?
Yes, actually. So it was very odd. They managed to pass into my head lots and lots and lots of different images, as if I knew the route of how to get there.
And where would that be?
Some south, I think.
I have so much
Maps.
love.
Not my strong point. Bergan. We need to go to Bergan to pick up the female.
As Max described these snapshots kind of in his head when he went through everything that happened, do I have an idea of where this sounds like, or do I know where Hammerfest Dam is being?
You actually do know exactly where Hammerfest is. Like, you could literally get a map, point at it, and be like, there. You even know the best way to get there. Like, the best ways to get there. You could plot a route from here, no problem. It is far in the north. It's even more north than the Lofoten Islands. It's out towards Soroya. It is an industrial powerhouse port. Because it is so far... It's like one of the most northerly... It's a very northerly port in Norway and is bang in the... really in the middle. If you were going to sail down from the north and sail down Norway, it would kind of be like bang where you would stop to refresh before you then sailed down all the way down the side of Norway. It has, because it is fed by a fjord, the port there very rarely freezes. Very rarely. So it means there's an open port even in winter, which actually doesn't... A lot of the very northern ports, because they're so exposed, freeze up and aren't accessible. But this one stays open all year round. You would also know it. It's very famous. I mean, Max is clueless, but you'd know it. It's very famous. It was the first town in Norway to get electric lighting. The entire town is electrically lit. All the houses, all the buildings, the street lights, the dock, everything is electrically lit. And it is, it was, and still sort of is, a tourist attraction for that reason.
Okay. So we'll be heading north. Okay.
Just we need to stop off at Bergan in 2 days. Which I know is 2 days away.
Which, actually, Colonel, would be the most sensible thing to do. Because you can travel from Espedalen to Herdal, which is the closest train station. Train to Herdal. Take a ship. Bergen's on the coast. The ship will take you all the way.
That's what we'll do. Is it wise for us to pick up any books on the Elvan?
Elva.
Elva. Elva.
I'm not going to tell you how to spell it because it will just confuse you.
Thank you.
It starts with A. Smiley face. Okay, lovely. As you say that, Gætir's going to say, good! You go look at your books. I'm going to continue sunning myself. And she's going to roll onto the rock and, like, take on this, like, position as if she's sunbathing, which is ridiculous because there's no sun down here. But she's going to pretend anyway.
Thank you for all your help, Gætir. Your manners are much improved.
Sod off! You're blocking the sunlight, you great oaf.
Should we pick up the books? Allow us to do some research on the train, or pick up this young lady and
I
head
didn't say young.
I did not want to assume her age.
Shit's getting real. We get a brand new cast member, and the pair of you go head to head in some sort of age slagging match. I knew you'd be a perfect fit, Amy. I knew you'd fit in just perfectly. All right, this is perfect. Okay, couple of things. I need everyone. We're going to do some rolls. This
Jesus.
first roll that we're going to do... Sorry, chat. The first roll that we're going to do is not going to be affected by the help or the hinders. It is going to be your resources rolls. So I need you to pop your character sheets open. And you will see that you have got resources.
Hold on. I've just been called out in chat, so I had to respond.
It's in between your attributes and your skills. You just click where it says resources.
Okay. Right. Press.
I'm thoroughly unsurprised by Signy. And I'm not surprised by Max either. Okay, you need to just make a note somewhere of how many successes you have. Between the three of you. So Signy, you have 0. Colonel, you have 5. Max, you have 0. Resources are the Vaesen equivalent of money, and this is how much you basically have at your fingertips right this minute. Okay.
And although Max is minted, he couldn't take anything with him.
You've got no idea where you've put any of it. No idea where any of it is, really. No idea. Okay, excellent. Make a little note of that because there are a few things that that we are going to cover that may cost you resources. So, let me just transfer us over from the hall music to this one. Okay. I'm going to put on our travel music.
Travel montage.
Travel montage.
Travel montage.
At the beginning of every mystery, you are able to gain an advantage. These become super relevant now that we have so much stuff in the hall under the mountain. An advantage is something that you do to prepare for the mystery ahead that then will give you an advantage that you can use later on in the game. Prime example would be for you, Max. You might hit the library or the occult library looking for a book on Elva that you then either commit to memory or put in your bag and take with you. Meaning then that later on in the adventure, if you get a question about Elva, you get an advantage because you have the book to hand. We have a weapons corridor, Colonel, so you may want to use the tools in there to take all of your guns apart, put them all back together again. Maybe you want to adjust some of the equipment you have. You know, this is what advantage is all about. Signy, you may put together some potions. You might ready some spells. You might do, you know, anything that you can think of that might help Signy to, like, with the mystery. Have a little think. And then, so have a little think, because what we'll do, we're going to do the little travel montage to Bergan, and then I'm basically going to sort of, everyone's going to sort of get asked what their advantages are. All right. So, is anyone using anything in the hall under the mountain for an advantage?
Yes, I am going to use the occult library for a book on Elva, a history thereof.
All right. Lovely. Can you give me an investigation roll, please? No, it's not. It's a learning roll.
Just no.
Can you give me... Yes, a learning roll, and you
With
have
a
a
hinder.
hinder.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Vinny, for the hinder.
Yay!
All right, nice. You actually discover that there are a lot of books on Elva. A hell of a lot of books. Apparently, they're seemingly quite common and cause a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble for the society over the years. There is a specific book that catches your eye, and the book is called Nuperosa Tronen. You just look at me wildly.
Yes.
Okay. It translates to the throne of the Wild Rose. And it talks about the throne of the Wild Rose, which turns out to be... it turns out to be... It's a kingdom. A kingdom, a realm. It has been in existence, like, since Thursday's children started writing things down. It has existed.
Yeah.
And it has always been reigned over by Queen Evie.
How do you spell that?
Evig.
Avy. Cool. I would also like to pick up old case notes that dealt with the Elva as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just to read on the train and the boat. Just to see how the society have had to deal with them in previous times.
Yeah, absolutely. Please add onto your character sheet that you have the advantage of this book, or books, that you have about your person. Colonel?
Well, that depends. Are we in the age where I can get a message easily to Hammerfest? Because I'm thinking I might have a contact there, considering my backgrounds.
Ooh, yeah, 100%. You could send, you could you could send a letter now, knowing it will get there. It'll probably get there faster than you, because
Cool, that's a lot.
yeah, go on.
So I'll pen a letter to my contact there, just to prepare for our arrival, set us up with accommodation, things like that, and then being able to get us an audience with in the dam project.
Yeah, because the graph is the tech, gram is the thing, does exist in this world. So, I mean, it was invented in 1843, so... And we're slightly ahead technologically, so Telegram does totally exist. You could easily send a telegram to a contact and just be like, hey, we're coming. Rooms.
So
Go ahead.
so that mean you can charge for that then, or is that just gonna be a thing for when we're there?
So, what you can do, it really depends what it is you want to ask them and what you are hoping the contact can provide you.
I'm hoping the contact will be able to provide us with at least a audience with whoever's leading the dam project.
Okay, so at 100%, you can add the advantage of business contacts that will be able to not only get you in touch with the person who is leading the dam project, but your family trades in steel.
Yes.
So not only it's not just a meeting, i.e., like, you know, oh, it's all right, I'll ask them. Your contact will, like, basically name drop you and be like, one of the biggest steel trading families wants a meeting with you. So that will not only secure you a meeting with them, but in your advantage, make a note that any dealings that you have with the dam manager, owner, you'll get +1 on the die because you have, you know,
Fantastic.
you have the you know, that you have that the name, the fancy name, leverage.
Perfect. So I'll spend my time penning that letter, getting that all sorted and ready.
All right, lovely. The pair of you pack and head out. You grab the first carriage from Espadalen heading to Hedal. And it is a journey you're becoming familiar with. As this carriage journey from Hedal to Espadalen, it is the journey. If you are ever coming to or leaving the Hall Under the Mountain, this is the journey that you take. When you arrive at Hedal, you're able to send your telegram. There isn't a telegraph machine in Espadalen, but there certainly is in Hedal. And you get a reply. You get a reply from Hammerfest saying that the message has been received and will be delivered. Will be delivered the next day. So you know that the message will have arrived. And then you board the train and start the long journey to Bergan. And when we are going to flick over to Bergan, where Signy is, Signy, what are you going to do to kind of prepare for the mystery, for the adventure?
She has no idea. Realistically, she probably doesn't half believe anyone's even coming. She's not certain, so should be a bit like busying herself with her normal stuff with this thought in the back of her mind that something might be about to happen. So.
Interestingly, you would know that it was real.
I would definitely know it was real.
Because in the morning, you would find the rose petals.
Oh, okay.
Still in the necklace. But whether or not this strange, dishevelled man is coming,
well,
who knows?
I don't know. I don't really know what you can prepare. What sort of, you said about like...
I mean, it really is anything that you can think.
Oh, okay.
Like...
She said... She wouldn't seek knowledge at all. She wouldn't know to do that or think to do anything like that.
I mean, you could prepare a bag of tricks.
Yeah, that's definitely more the sort of thing she would do. Something that might help get her out of any trouble she might get in.
So you're gonna, like, not knowing if this strange man is coming, but want to be prepared just in case. You put like a travel bag together.
Definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
So Your advantage is going to be the well-prepared advantage. And I will allow you to, at any point in the game, if you can realistically produce something from your travel bag that would help you, I will grant you the advantage, but it can be for anything.
Ooh.
So, like, in the moment, if you were suddenly like, actually, I've got a lantern, I would be like, yes, because
Okay.
it would make sense that you would pack a lantern. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like I've told my mum I might be going on a trip and she's helped me pack.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got all these really useful things. So, but it's, yeah, a bag of tricks, shall we say.
Awesome.
Do you go to the train station on the third day after
No,
the
not
dream?
at all. I'm like, if this is meant to be, these people will find me.
Beautiful. You arrive at Bergan train station, Max and the Colonel. And, Colonel, you follow Max as he searches the station like a headless chicken for a woman he is convinced is waiting for him. But a woman that Max doesn't find.
Is it possible that she's gone ahead of us?
Highly unlikely. She did say that we'd need to pay for her voyage.
Fine.
Oh, that reminds me. Oh, left my wallet at home again.
Convenient. That's fine, Max. That's fine. I'll.
I believe. Is this the place with the nice hotel? Because the boat doesn't set sail till tomorrow, I believe.
I believe so. I can't quite remember. You're sure that this woman is going to be here?
That's where she lives.
Did she give you a name?
No, she was quite insulting. Said something about my age.
A foolish.
Foolish move. Foolish move indeed. Do the pair of you head out to Bergen to try and find a place to stay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, lovely. Whoever has the highest vigilance, please roll for me, and you have a help.
I have a 6.
Vigilance. Check 3. I have 7. Oh no, that's logic I'm clicking on. No, on vigilance.
And you get the +1 for the help. Holy.
Why?
Holy shite. You can thank Wolfie Knight for you can thank Wolfie Knight for that help and
Thank you.
success. When you arrive at the hotel, right? It's quite a fancy hotel. It's quite a modern hotel where they have a very small bar and theatre downstairs. And very small, I mean very small theatre. But they do entertainments in the hotel. And as you go into the room, Max is just whatever Max does when he arrives at the hotel. Probably just stares at the paintings and tries all the chairs out. Colonel, you notice a flyer. Well, it's not really a flyer. It's more of a poster. Advertising this evening's entertainment. And it is a night of clairvoyance. That's right, Amy. If you try and sneak your way and make it difficult for me, I'm going to just push you in the deep end. It is an evening of clairvoyance with the powerful Vaelabrook medium, and there's like some sort of nonsensey occult symbol on there as well to really sell it. It seems 100% like something Max would adore.
Seeing this poster, I'll try and catch Max's eye when he's trying up the third chair.
Rearranging, you turn around and you see Max refolding all the newspapers the other way round so you can't see the headlines. And then after turning them all the wrong way around so you can't see the headlines, you see him fiddling with the flowers on the little reception table.
The newspapers are a surprise now.
Max,
Yes. Oh, sorry, yes.
a friend of yours? Anyone you ever visited recently?
No. But it does slip me back into an old profession. We can see if they're genuine or not, and if they're not genuine, we report them to the police.
I was hoping that our mystery contact potentially has they shared a dream with a long shot.
Or potentially charlatans, and either which way, we'll ship them all off to prison.
Yes, why not?
Brilliant. I'm in.
And with that, we're going to take a little break because we're about 5 minutes, 4 minutes late for the break. I'm so sorry. I will issue a
As you should be.
Here is my formal apology to all of you that I am 4 minutes late for your break. We're going to take a short break, 15 minutes. How does 5 past the hour sound for everyone?
Oui.
All right, lovely. In that case, we're going to take a short break. We will be back at 5 past the hour, where we will pick up this story and find out whether or not the Vaelabrook mediums are indeed charlatans, and whether or not this mysterious lady from the dream will be found. We will see you then. And we are back from our break. We're a little bit behind. Why? Because we were talking about barbecue food. So let us, here we are. Everyone is here. We are all ready. Here we go. Let's pick up where we left off. What I should have done while we were in the chat was to find some appropriate ambient sounds.
Or
And I
an
didn't.
ambient picture.
And I didn't. I was too busy talking about barbecue food. Useless, right? Useless.
I blame the newbie.
Yeah.
Ooh, ow. That's a bit...
I feel so unloved.
So usual then.
I feel like, I don't mean to break it to you, but I feel like you're getting hazed, if I'm honest.
Just seeing if I can stick it out or not.
Do you know? Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I feel
Same.
like you might be a little
Will
bit
we
getting...
see Signy next week? Stay tuned.
You did school, you can do this.
All right.
And your school.
Well, she is local, Jack.
That's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, do you see what I have to put up with? This is what I have to put up with over here. Right? Honestly. Compose yourselves! Oh. All
That's
right.
what people tune in for. They don't tune in for the story.
You're insulting everyone tonight.
I'm just stuck now. I think all the chat will confirm otherwise, Luke. Don't worry.
He's playing it.
Rude. Rude.
You realize I'm the one who's going to get these hinders right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Why did you do this?
Okay. So, we're here in this fancy hotel in Bergan. The evening comes, and Signy, you and your mother being the famous medium Valabrook, turn up at the hotel and begin to set up the little sort of theatre-y space, ready for this evening's night of mediumship. There is a back room like they've asked for. Every time you do these sort of things, you know, you always ask for this room that you can put your belongings in, that you can get changed in, etc. And the hotel is more than, you know, venues are more than happy to provide you with a safe space that you can do that. Which is perfect because it is a necessary part of the act. You set yourselves up, you put your belongings in that back room, and Signy, this is, you know, this is your mum's. This is your mum's bag. This is your mum's show. She is the famous medium Valbrook. And you have been learning from her, but are by no means anywhere close to being ready to host such an event yourself. As evening draws in, people begin to filter into the little theatre room. The lighting has been dimmed. You've thrown some coloured scarves over the lights that are to remain on to give it thematic illuminations. You've also begun the incense a little early, so it has that mysterious mysterious lighting, hazy appearance, and the very pleasing fragrance of incense to add to the mystery. People begin to take their seats. It is arranged a little bit like a theatre, so people are going to take their seats. And then there is a larger table. The idea here will be laying on the table is a nice cloth and a crystal ball and a deck of tarot cards. All the things to really kind of stimulate people to get into the mood for this evening of clairvoyance. And there are a couple of seats set around the table. One which Signy, your mother, will sit in so that she can lead the ritual. And then the other seats at the table are for people who get invited to come and sit at the table, very likely those who are being visited by spirits. There are two figures that join the throng of an audience, and it's a very popular entertainment. Max and the Colonel, where are you going to sit? Are you up at the front, at the back? What kind of seating position are you going to gun for?
Max will suggest to the Colonel that they split up. Because this is Max's forte. He is an otherworldly being and has spent a lot of time exposing charlatans who have been fleecing the public with not only for money but also to get their hopes up and to spread, to just take people's hopes and wishes and dreams and not be able to give them anything tangible from it. So Max will sit somewhere close to an exit, but with a good view side on.
Okay.
Being told he's not going to be sitting with Max, the Colonel feels slightly awkward about where he's then going to sit. So he'll find almost an empty seat and just sit down. He's not very particular about where he's actually seated.
Okay, absolutely. Everybody takes their seats. And then the lights dim even further. The room is plunged almost completely into darkness, save for a candle that is burning on the table. It's got this very gentle illumination, and it only really seems to illuminate the table. There are a few gasps from the audience. And then the lights are switched back on, and there is a figure. There is the figure of a woman sitting at the table, and she is wearing a very starkly cut dark dress with a veil. It creates a ridiculous amount of kind of Victoriana Gothic mystery. Like, you can't quite see her face hidden behind the veil. She's, very sensible, practical clothing, but in really dark colours. And several people in the audience gasp at the sudden appearance of this woman as seemingly out of nowhere. And then the room, she raises her hands and the room's quieten. She begins to chant quietly. You can't really hear the words, but you can definitely hear her chanting. And then all of a sudden she stops chanting and she goes, I sense a presence. We are not alone. Is there a colonel in the audience? Our visitor is here to speak to you.
It's a septic peg.
That is my inspiration for. I'm so sorry, Signy, that I am using septic peg as the inspiration for your mother, but it seemed fitting.
The colonel will wait a moment if anyone else stirs.
Where did you sit, by the way? Was it at the front, at the back? Are you visible?
It was meant to be like semi-middle, so you could see Max, kind of, in case Max moved or disappeared or anything happened. So kind of being called out, just kind of looking around, waiting for another colonel to potentially stand up.
You get elbowed by the elderly woman sitting next to you, and she looks at you really eagerly, and she's like, I think it's you.
And I will go, shit, under my breath, and I will stand up and straighten my uniform.
Ah, yes. Come, join me at the table. We will speak to the great beyond.
Max, by the way, is trying not to wet himself at this.
Like, kind of will even at one point, like, kind of shuffle through some of the tables and look at Max like, help me.
Hello, you've got this.
And he'll make his way up to the stage, kind of straighten his uniform, and kind of look out into the audience, kind of give an awkward nod, and continue forward.
You can hear the audience. They're all like, ooh, and you hear like the mumbles of people kind of excitedly talking amongst themselves. As you get up and you sit down at the table, all the lights in the room begin to flicker, and there are gasps from the audience yet again, and the medium is like, the spirit world draws closer. Do not be alarmed.
Yes.
Like, Max, you're still in the audience. People are literally on the edges of their seats. They are devouring this entertainment. They are literally devouring it. Like, this is the excitement of the, you know, of the week.
Mm-hmm.
The medium continues and she says, I have a spirit with me. It is of a young man. He wears a uniform and he has a rifle. I think he might be a sergeant or maybe a corporal. And he knows you. Do you know him?
Feeling awkward, not wanting to shame her. Goes, I may do. Have you a name?
Let me ask the spirits. What is your name, spirit? Knock twice if you can hear me. And you hear, as if someone was sitting next to you, 2 sharp bangs on the table. The audience, like, there is one woman who shrieks in the audience. There are gasps, there are mutters everywhere. Tell us your name, spirit! And the lights in the room flicker once again as the spirit world draws in close. One moment, please, while I ask Fantasy Name Generator for a name.
Uh,
Max?
when the woman shrieks in the audience, Max would be like, "It's okay, darling. I shall get you the vapors." And Max will kind of excuse himself. He's kind of seen enough. Like he's been waiting for a reason to leave. So he disappears out through the exit as if going to go and get this lady the vapors.
Okay. As you leave the room, you hear the medium say to the Colonel, "It begins with a letter A."
And he's like,
Oh.
and as he's leaving the room, he's like, "Well, there's only 25 more letters to go through." Honestly, a military person to a colonel, and it's just kind of just walking up.
And she sits there and she's saying, "Oh," and she's looking at you, waiting for your when she says "Ara," do you do anything?
I will like lean forward. Was that his surname or first name?
First, maybe Arthur. And she looks at you again.
I know an Arthur. Yes.
It is Arthur. He has a message for you, Lieutenant Colonel Seaton. He has a message for you. Where she has your name, your rank and name from is a mystery. And there is a little moment, Colonel, where you are a little bit like, "Oh, I do know an Arthur, and that is how does she know my name?" Like there's that tiny little bit of you getting kind of swept up in this extremely professional, like, performance. I want you to give me an observation check. Oh, and by the way, you have a hinder.
Thanks for that.
You're so welcome.
Amazing.
You can thank Vinny for the hinder.
Thanks, Vinny. An observation, yeah. Ha!
You have one success. All right, so you do get drawn into it a little bit, but you remain stoically the Colonel. You know, unless something ridiculous, unless something like unbelievable happens, you will remain calmly British. Max, what are you gonna do?
Max he'll go outside, he'll find the closest valet and say, "Excuse me, do you know the way to the kitchens by any chance? I need to go and find somebody for the vapors." Because he needs to get into the back end of the hotel. So yeah, he'll grab like the usher outside the door and hopefully be directed to the nearest service entrance.
You grab one of the staff and they're like, "Oh no, not again." Every time we have the medium in, we have someone pass out, we have hysteria please. And he gives you directions to get like into the big service corridor where the kitchen and the washroom and all those sorts of things are.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So I go through there, kind of like I might not know maps, but I know how far I've been because I think he's a bit on the spectrum, perhaps. Kind of like he knows how far he's moved around.
Give me an investigation check.
With the hinder?
You do have a hinder, but you are going to get a +1 to this because you are a professional paranormal investigator. You have seen it all. You have investigated it all. You would know where
somebody would be.
Yeah, like you know, like there's going to be a whole list of things that you're going to investigate. Like, you know, things that you've seen, the cons, the tricks, you're going to investigate them. So you get a +1, but you do get a hinder. So
So it says
no
just normal straight roll.
mods. Yeah.
Straight roll.
Whoa.
There you go. That's how much of a professional he is.
Whoa.
So I'm not. So I don't know how. There's things I can do with this, isn't there?
Yeah, there are.
What is it?
I do believe it's just I give you more information.
The game master decides whether I find more clues, understand the context, or simply enjoy the satisfaction of a job well done, is what it actually says. I would like to be able to find the actual back room attached to that room.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to, like, you have a habit of counting your steps. So you've counted how many steps it was to come out of the theatre. You know where the theatre starts. You count your steps back in. And you work out... The first thing on your list is to identify whether or not there is a back room in which someone has access to the light switches. It's going to be things like light switches, the trapdoor, if there's staging. You know, that's the first place you're going to look. And then if it isn't that, then it's probably the medium themselves doing, like...
The banging and
fishing wire and stuff like that, in which case you will need to get to the table. But it's easier to see if there's a back room with a con going on, and then if there isn't, you can then basically invite yourself to the table by just sort of waiting for her to claim another spirit and just saying it's for you.
Yeah, because especially this is showing my knowledge of antiques. Since the invention of the Singer sewing machine table.
Yeah.
And its lovely rotary button at the pedal at the bottom, it's much easier to make a bang, bang, bang on the table and make it move without even having to move from the table.
Yeah, all the things. You find the door which goes to backstage.
Yeah.
And you are standing outside of the door.
Perfect. Please cut back to the stage. I want to know what's going on with the colonel.
We cut back. We cut back to the stage. Arthur has a message for you. He says, "Don't blame yourself for his death. He is a casualty of war. Death is inevitable, and it happens. Stop carrying around the guilt and the suffering and the sorrow. You can be free of that guilt and live happily again."
I was kind of momentarily confused, trying to think of which Arthur was this and which war is he referring to. And he's going, thank you, Corporal Arthur. Looking around.
Are you still there, Corporal Arthur? If you can hear us, make yourself known. This time, it's not just a knock, like on the table. The whole table shakes a little bit, and then the candle goes out on the table. And the medium's like, "He is still here." The spirits draw close. There was a terrible... It was not an accident. It was a brave death on the battlefield. It was gunfire. It was gunfire that gunned down Corporal Arthur as he bravely fought for king and country. And you were there. You were there on that battlefield, weren't you, Lieutenant Colonel?
Yes.
There are gasps. There are gasps from the audience. Like, this woman is literally looking into the future. She knows everything. There are gasps. People are clutching handkerchiefs, and they are astounded at this woman's clairvoyance.
She's just seen the Colonel's dice rolls. She knows that he's probably hit him himself.
Yeah.
Max.
Yes. Max is trying not... Like, Max can hear. Because this voice is travelling through. And Max, again, is trying not to be, like, laughing hysterically. Especially when she's like, Arthur doesn't blame you for his death. And then Max is like, sure, the Colonel only had a letter from an Arthur 2 weeks ago. But anyway, and it's just like trying not to... But as soon as he hears the banging on the table, the from the audience, the lights all moving and things like that, he's actually pushed his ear against the door. And I'm wondering whether or not he actually hears the... Because it... Baker light switches, like they're not quiet. Whether or not he hears that click 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 from backstage.
You can give me a vigilance roll. You have a help with thanks to Joey Stitched.
Fucking hell!
You insult chat, and your woman gets the help.
I get a success.
You definitely hear movement in the room beyond the door.
Yeah. So as she continues talking to the Colonel, Max is going to try the door handle, but quietly.
Okay.
Because I know that
Here we
whoever's
go.
in that room is listening on the other side.
Stealth roll, Max, and a vigilance roll, Signy. Both of you will have a hinder. You can thank Evie for the hinder and Joey Stitched, who apparently giveth and taketh away.
Oh.
According to Joey Stitch in chat, that's for insulting the duchies.
These are the ancient duchies, not the real ones. What is it about your house and rolling dice?
I think you might need to sage that laptop. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just tossing that out there. That laptop might need some saging.
I mean, it's right there. I'll do it in a minute.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. I actually love it when the dice rolls are really accurate to reality. Like, Signy, you are, like, all of your concentration is focused on the ridiculous setup that you have in front of you that consists of pulley ropes and flicky switches and all sorts of things.
Trying to get the timing right.
Yeah, all the timing. Like, you're completely taken up by this. So you don't notice at all when Max very, very quietly lets himself into the back room. Max?
On opening the door and seeing her from behind?
No, you'd probably see her side on, because it would be like theatre back room and the corridor would run along it, so she'd be facing the theatre, so you'd see her from the side.
Yeah. Max is going to first of all be taken aback by you. Then he's going to be like, you were late. How could...
Do you actually say that? You're like, you were late!
You were late. You were supposed to meet her.
Which probably frightens the shit out of Signy.
All the lights go off.
Oh no, I don't want to... I'm going to jump, try and think, turn around, catch who it is, but then be so caught up in what I'm doing and try and work out where I was and what I was supposed to be doing again and just kind of hold my finger up to him.
Okay.
Okay,
Give
1 minute.
me... Ooh. Give me a... Oh, it's going to be... It's going to be a... Oh, so difficult. Give me a learning check. Give me a learning check to see if you can, like catch right back up where you were and, like, do this thing that you've rehearsed over and over. You have a help.
Yeah.
Thanks to Kiss Chaos.
Thank you very much. 1.
Oh!
You've
Bloody
been
hell!
doing this a while.
You're like, and you're like, pull a couple of strings, and you flick some lights. Max, you hear the crowd from beyond gasping from the theatre. Colonel, you are this is. You hear that the woman, the medium, she goes, and she goes, there is a sound from the spirit world. There is a crashing sound. It is the sound of waves, the sound of the sea. It sounds like a ship, maybe. There is thunder in a ship. And, like, the lights flicker. And Signy, you, like, quickly turn, rummage through a pile of weird shape objects you have, whip up something that looks like a tube, about this round tube, and on one end it's got like it's got a skin pulled tight over it like it's a drum, and from it hangs like a piece of, almost like a coiled piece of metal, and you quickly whip that up off the floor and shake it, and it makes the sound of like a roll of thunder, and then you hold it again, and then you kind of turn to Max, as you like hit a quiet pat, like, you know that there's going to be a bit of talking now, so you can then turn to Max to talk.
You came. I mean, bad timing, but you came.
Max has now composed himself back into all sorts. First off, we shared a dream, which means that you do not belong here. Second off, you are doing something I do not agree with. At all. In the slightest.
But we shared.
But Max is talking now. And he actually refers to himself in the third person as well. Now, we can do this one of two ways. Way number one works out well for you and whoever this charlatan is out there. You come with me. You give the signal that the spirit has left, and the show is over. And it's all done. If you continue, and the night continues, I shall expose the woman on stage for the charlatan she actually is.
Those are some really good bargaining skills you have. Bear with me. I'm gonna do like me and my mum would have a signal of like abort.
Shit, I've been rumbled.
Abort mission! Abort!
I'm gonna
Abort!
like make all the lights go out, all the smoke happen, the loudest noise, and that's like her chance to like abandon ship.
Okay, from the other side, the poor colonel. From the other side, the woman is like, she's getting to some sort of peak moment of her performance, okay? So, she has, by sheer chance, like guesswork, by sheer chance, she has started talking about thunderous sounds on the ocean and there being a ship. Right. Colonel, all of a sudden, you like lean forward and you're like, without interrupting her, but you're definitely like, a ship, you say? And she is like, and she carries on and she's like, there were flashing terrible lights, flames, and the sounds of dying sailors all around you. And at that moment, there's like flashing lights, and like the table shakes, like the candle goes out, there's like a waft of smoke, and then she all of a sudden, and she's like, and there was, and then she just collapses down on the table, like as if she's passed out completely. The entire audience got like, there's gasps, there's several shrieks from the audience. Like, I think even the colonel was like, ooh, as she like hits the table. And then there's just silence in the room, and all you can hear is like the medium, like heavy breathing on the table. And she says, from the table, and she says, my connection to the spirit world has been broken. It was too intense, even for a powerful medium like me. Dashed are your hopes to hear what it was that was happening at sea, Colonel?
Yeah. I feel like the Colonel actually was like stood up, like pushed the chair back and stood up, because he's got a little bit too invested in this at this point now. And as soon as you start speaking, he kind of puts his hand on her to try and push her back into the chair, and
she lets you help her. Do you know what I mean? She now is doing the full-on act of like this exhausted woman, and she puts her hand like weakly on yours, and she's like, thank you, you are so kind.
I put my back of my hand to her forehead, check that she's okay.
She's very warm, like she's hot, she's not quite feverish, but she's very warm.
Probably because she's got a hot water bottle strapped to her back.
Probably because she's been doing this ridiculous performance for God knows how long.
Under a veil.
Yeah, under a veil. And we go back to the back room. And you hear this cacophonous, like, nonsense from the other room, Max. Signy, your job is done. Like, you have sent the abort signal.
I better not have lost any money.
Where you're going, you won't need it.
Oh!
We work hard for that, you know.
I'm sure you do. However, there are more honest ways of getting your money. And I believe that you are more than aware now of our society.
Got your tail.
Can't lie.
Would you like an honest life? Actually help people. Not just people. Also creatures of the Feywild. They're called Vaesen. They're really cool, and they're kind of a bit funny and weird and slightly interesting.
Oh, Signy, this is the first time, I think, in your life anyone has openly acknowledged being able to see things like you can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. It's not all a lie, you know. But I will come with you.
Your investigation work is top notch. How did you know he was the Colonel?
The The book is
Signing
in.
in.
Yes.
People like that always sign with their showing off their status or whatever they want to call it.
Absolutely. That's why I always sign in with a false name.
Yeah. I wouldn't have known your name anyway. How did you find me? The poster.
Well, actually, the boat doesn't leave till tomorrow.
Oh.
So we needed a place to stay, and this was the first hotel we came to.
Oh. Luck then.
Yes.
Not such a good investigator.
Not when I'm looking for people. However, when I'm looking for con artists, I can find them very quickly.
This is good.
As I say.
If you would
are
like,
live, then you can judge us.
if you would like to, like I say, come and help, meet us at the docks tomorrow morning.
I mean, I have my bags packed. I thought you might come. Wait
Good.
for me to have a room here?
You'll have to ask the person you've just been conning, as he's the one who's got the money this time. My wallet's back at the office.
I'm sure you can help me. I will begin to pack up our... so no one else finds out.
I feel like the Colonel has now tried to help the medium as much as possible. Either taking her back or being
Oh, you're going to be so good.
being a gentleman about this whole situation.
You're on mute, Luke.
She accepts to a certain point, and then there's sort of a moment where she very delicately kind of removes. You know, she sort of says, "I'll be okay from here. Thank you. You are a true gentleman."
I would think that myself and Signy are probably walking through to go through the front of the hotel. Probably quicker than she would do normally.
I don't think I'd see you guys though, so I'd be. I'd have the vision that she'd stop me before getting anywhere near the back room to be able to sit.
Yeah, for sure. And probably in the like reception-y bit is where she'd let you help her all the way out of the theatre, but then
As long as you're sure you're fine.
and then the door opens, and out comes Max with a young woman. Bearing in mind, Max is supposed to be investigating this. That's what he told you he was doing. He comes out from like the service corridor with a young woman. Which raises your eyebrows, Colonel. And there's that moment where Max is like, "Oh, Colonel," and the Colonel's like, "Max," and then Signy's like, "Mum," and Mum's like, "Signy." And I imagine that then there is a very short, sweet conversation where Signy and where do you two, like, Signy is gonna probably say to her mum, I don't know, how are you gonna explain to your mum that you're going away with Max?
I mean, she has
and the Colonel
for the potential trip anyway.
Oh,
so
yes, there you go.
I'll
So you can just be like,
"Mum," she's used to me being a bit like dipsy. I'll just like, "Mum, this is the person from my dreams. Like, not those dreams. I'm going away." And she's pretty normal. I tend to.
"Well, when are you going? You can't possibly..." Like, now, all pretense of this ridiculous act is gone. "Well, when do you think you're going? You can't go tonight."
No, we're leaving tomorrow, but they're
Well, excellent, because
paid for me to have a room here.
What?
They're going to pay for me to have a room here, so I can be more comfortable tonight.
Oh, really?
Like the
Oh,
Netflix
really? And
Max
she's
just
really?
smiles at you.
right at the Colonel. It's not Max, it's the Colonel. She's, "I thought you were a gentleman."
And I'm going to look at Max. I thought you were a gentleman.
And charlatans.
I beg your pardon. And there is
very
a
kind of them, and they're going to pay my fare to get there, and it will be an adventure month.
There is a rather vibrant conversation in the reception of the hotel between the three of you. Between the four of you, and eventually it is decided that Signy and her mum are going to take their belongings back to the house, and then Signy and her mum will return to the hotel room because Signy's mum is going to stay in the hotel room to make sure no silly business happens. Mostly because Signy's mum is like, yes, free hotel stay.
Oh, this is a nice hotel compared to our house.
I know, right? And then in the morning, you can travel with Max and the Colonel after convincing your mother that they're marks, and you fully intend on going on some money-making adventure to rip them off.
Yeah. Completely.
All right.
To be fair, how the Colonel is, he probably would book breakfast at the hotel and everything for them as they were staying there as well.
Breakfast is a very sensible affair. It's very fancy affair. The hotel's very nice. You have breakfast. Signy says goodbye to her mother. And the three of you head to Bergan docks, where you intend on catching a ship to Hammerfest in the north. Signy, your mother has made you promise that you will send a telegram when you arrive safely, and that you will regularly check in so she knows that you're okay. Colonel, Signy's mum waits so that she can catch you on your own. She lets Max and Signy leave reception, but then gets in the way. She stands right in front of you, and she points at you, and she's like, "If anything happens to my daughter, anything at all, any funny business, Colonel Seaton, and you will regret it."
I will keep it safe.
You had better, because it's not just your name on the line, good sir.
She will be kept safe.
She had better, and your trousers better stay on. And then she turns and leaves you standing in reception, blushing slightly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just kind of straighten my uniform around a little bit, shifting, and just under my breath, I think it's more Max she's got to worry about.
And so you make your way to the docks, where you are going to look for a ship that is going to take you to Hammerfest, and you find a vessel that is called Octavia. She is one of the new steamer class ships. She is completely made out of metal and runs entirely off of a large steam engine. She is mostly a cargo vessel. She is hauling heavy cargo from southern Europe. And her journey is going to take her all the way northward round to Russia. You use your business state. You use your businessman status, your social status, and obviously your money, Colonel, to secure you all passage on the Octavia all the way to Hammerfest. And it should be a fairly smooth and comfortable journey, particularly because these new steamer class ships are much faster than the sail ships because they are self-propelling and don't rely on the wind. It is penciled to be a beautiful journey as you sail all along the edge of Norway, past the Lofoten Islands and round to Hammerfest. It is going to take about a week, probably-ish. This is not a fast endeavour, and it's a really long way to go. It's going to take about a week for them to sail all the way up to get to Hammerfest. But on the 7th day, you see on the horizon a grand mountain reaching up into the clouds. It is snow-capped. And below it, there is this incredible amber glow from the city, illuminated by electric lighting. And it is a good job that it is illuminated by electric lighting, because as you have sailed up the coast of Norway, the days have become darker and shorter. And arriving at Hammerfest, the sun has barely risen the entire day, heralding in the coming of winter as the nights draw in. And this far into the Arctic Circle, they will have the long nights when the winter comes. But you see it, this grand snow-capped mountain dressed in a beautiful forest, at the foot of which spreads a city glowing with amber electric light. And you all three of you stand on the prow of the ship, enjoying the rather dramatic scene, and all three of you feeling the excitement of the adventure to come as the Octavia pulls into dock at Hammerfest. And there is where we are going to end this evening's session. Nice work, guys, and a huge congratulations to Amy for your first ever episode. You survived! Nothing terrible happened.
Nope. We're still here, we're still working. And I used Roll20.
Yeah,
I know, right? Crazy stuff.
Unheard of.
Crazy stuff. Well, a huge thank you to the incredible cast of this evening's episode of The Society. We're going to go all the way around and visit each of you in turn so that you can answer our famous set of questions. Max, you are first on my video chat. So, Who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What do you want to say?
Hi. So I'm Mike. I'm Mike, not Max. I've been playing Max this evening. I also go by the name of Mutinous Mikey, Mutinous_Mikey. I have taken a short break from Twitch, but I am going to be coming back not this week, but next week. So yes, keep an eye out on there. I will drop there. Thank you very much, Joey.
I was going to say junior apprentice moderator in training, give a shout out, but you were already there.
Absolutely.
Thank
You can also find me on TikTok. I am in the process of actually making some videos for it. And Instagram, likewise, the same. I think I'm in the process of remaking my MySpace for the older generation. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you very much, Luke. It's lovely to be back, and a warm welcome to the lovely Amy. Those cat ears, I am so fucking jealous. She's always on mute, which is what she's at the moment.
I'm actually not. I'm just really quiet.
Just really quiet. In shock, stunned, silence.
So yeah, thank you very much, Luke, and thank you very much, chat. You have been absolutely wonderful this evening.
Yes, absolutely. Next on my list is our new cast member, Amy. Who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What would you like to say?
I'm Amy. I played tonight's Signe Valbrook for the first time. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love her so much already.
Yes!
You can't find me anywhere because I'm a hippy mum who doesn't want her daughter to ever have social media, so I'm showing her what I hope she follows.
Honestly, most of the cast are... The chat are going to start thinking that actually you're all Vaesen. Like, some of you are actually Vaesen that I'm just summoning out of, like, some other world to pretend to be real life people.
As long as I can pick which one, then maybe.
Facts.
But thank you, everyone. I've really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm really excited to carry the story on after putting it off for so long because I was so nervous.
And thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we have... and we cannot wait to see more of Signe Valbrook.
Thank you.
Colonel, you are the last on the list, but by no means least. Colonel, who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm Jack, also known as Viking Jack. I've been playing Lieutenant Colonel Bartholomew Seaton. I am on Instagram under JMBarber_the Colonel. I haven't posted anything for about a year plus now. I need to really get back on that.
Well, I mean, you don't. There's no obligation.
Yeah, 33 weeks ago it was that you last posted on there. The 22nd of September.
There you go.
Was it a picture of our daughter?
No, it was a picture of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit.
So he was reading it to Dottie, so...
But yes, thank you so much, Luke. I wanted to say it at the time, but it wasn't my dream. The map for the Dreamscape looked absolutely incredible. I was just in awe of it and just studying every little bit of detail. That was incredible. Yeah, I would love to see how you made that one.
No, you don't.
I think we need another map making stream.
No, you don't. It was 90% swear words, 90% swearing, and 10% me going. Does that look right?
I can confirm that face because he was in a Discord call at the time making that face.
And I completely forgot people could see me, and I spent most of it like. Is that alright? I don't like it.
I completely agree. That needs to be done on a map making stream at some point soon.
All worth it because that was absolutely breathtaking. It really was.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Layers is the answer. Many layers.
Like
lots
onions.
of layering. when we do create maps when we create very special maps for the stream, we do share them on our Dungeon Fog, where they are available to download for anybody, so that you can use them in your game. So if you have a Dungeon Fog account, you can head on over, download those maps, and use them in your games. The link to our Dungeon Fog is in the social link thingy bob. You know the one where it says Twitter and Instagram, etc. Our Dungeon Fog is there. You can head on over and check out those maps. We do also post them on our Instagram, so that if you just want to see the whole map as it's flat image rather than with the dynamic lighting from Roll20, you can do. We do publish them on our Instagram once they have been revealed on stream. So do keep an eye on the Instagram. You can see some of our maps there as well. I am Loki. I have been your game master and am the game master for these dark and thrilling tales that we call the Society. I'm here every week with these hooligans, ruffians, some of whom may or may not be Vaesen. I can't possibly confirm or deny that possibility or fact. You can catch us here every week where we play these ridiculous games. We also do some map making streams as well to show off Dungeon Fog, which is our map making program we were just talking about. And you can also catch me every Thursday over on Grumpy Battersby's channel, where I am a player. I'm over there playing Flink, the criminal hacker mastermind who is currently trying to work out how on earth I ended up working with a team of such morons. You can catch me over there on the Grumpy Battersby channel, as I say, every Thursday at 7 p.m. British Summer Time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all the things. We're going to say goodbye to our incredible cast. I'm going to say one more thank you to the three of you for really bringing these ridiculous stories to life and putting up with all the shenanigans and chicanery.
There's one more. We have to point out the fabulous new Gætir artwork.
Yes!
On the lurk, which I've just typed
and
in
on
so
the
that it comes up.
stream.
There it is.
We have it on the stream. Here is the most incredible piece of Gætir artwork that was done by our incredibly talented Shusha. I commissioned this so that we had a piece of artwork that we were able to use as the Society, and I cannot even begin to tell you how in love I am with this piece of artwork. Is she not the most beautiful thing? It has taken my breath away, as Shusha does with every single piece of art that she creates for us. There is a link to her Etsy store in our About Us section. You can see her official logo, and if you click on that, it will take you to the official store. Do go and check out all the other incredible artwork that she does. We are so happy to have her on board creating just these absolute works of art. Big thank you to our cast. Let's head on over to our credits and get ready for our raid. Thank you so much, and here we go. You can... I may or may not have been tweaking some settings earlier, and I clearly didn't do this page. I did all the others, but not this one. You apparently cannot see me here. How fabulous and marvellous. Oh well. I'll fix that for next stream. I absolutely promise. You can see over here the credit roll. Please do check out all of these incredible contributors to our stream. If you saw anything in the stream this evening that you would like to include in your tabletop game, please do head on over and go and check them all out. All of the links are over there, and All of the links are over there, and you can go and follow them and use them at your pleasure. They create the most incredible artwork and reference. Will you stop talking in my head? Sorry, chat. Just so you know, all of the cast just have gone into some full conversation without me, and it's very distracting while I try and do the credit talk. All of the incredible resources and contributions that these incredible and talented artists make, please go and check them out and use them in your tabletop game. The links, if you want active links, are in the chat right now, or they'll be below if you are catching up on our YouTube. Now we're going to head on over to our raid. I'm going to return to my medium clairvoyance as I call out to the spirit world. Who are we raiding? I'm not a charlatan, thank you, because I can quite clearly hear the voices. /raid. NICE BOYS. Where are we going? Twitch. Nice boys Twitch. I mean, this sounds genuinely excellent. We're going to be heading over to Nice Boys Twitch, where they are playing Siths and Crits, the Star Wars role-playing game. Let me hit that button and hopefully that raid will come through. And the raid has been created. I just want to say a huge thank you to you, our audience members, to every single one of you, whether you are watching us live right now on Twitch or catching up on YouTube. Everything we do in the society, we do for you guys, okay? We absolutely adore playing this game. We have the most amount of fun, but we Twitch this and stream this and share this for you guys so that we can share our love and our passion for this game with you and share our stories and our fun with all of you who join us, whether it is live on Twitch or on YouTube. I want to just say a huge thank you to every single one of you. I'm going to do both because I'm, hip and modern and I know all of these things now. Huge thank you to all of you. I hope to see you again next week for more of Chapter 6, where we find out what is going on Hammerfest and begin investigating the mystery. Until then, have a great week, and we will see you on Sunday.